Vincenzo lay in bed late one night, waiting for sleep to come. The doctors had reassured his mother that the worst had passed and he would make a full recovery. As he looked over at the empty cot beside his, he felt a hard lump in his throat. He blinked away the tears as his chest swelled with worry. It was his 14th day after the funeral, and still it felt like yesterday. His father had left them for only a month now, and the feeling of emptiness in his heart had only grown stronger. After his father's death, the family business collapsed. "Don't worry, Enzo," his mother had said, calling him by his favorite nickname. "We will not die of hunger." His eyes flitted around the room, determined to think about something else. It rested on a wooden chair his mother had sat in night after night to care for his ailing brother. His eyes finally rested on the toy car his father had given him on his 5th birthday. He took comfort in the memories of the countless hours spent playing with his brother and dad, and finally, sleep came. At around the same time, in the smaller nearby city of Ferrara, a mother looked down at her suckling new baby boy and smiled. She was still tired and sore from the painful delivery the night before, but mostly she felt like the luckiest woman in the world. She and her husband had already decided on a name. He would be called Ferruccio. As Ferruccio grew older, he expressed a keen interest in mechanics. A few years passed, and Vincenzo had turned his fortune completely around. He took a job with a small automotive company where he was in charge of redesigning and modifying vehicles. He eventually started racing cars, and it was then that he found his true love. This love brought him fame and fortune. He received contracts from even bigger automotive manufacturers. He had become a star. Ferruccio, on the other hand, thought that there was more money to be earned outside of motor racing. Most farmers were unable to purchase a tractor because the prices were so high they were beyond reach. He thought there must be a way to make tractors more affordable and set out to find it. His idea made him extremely successful and wealthy. Vincenzo eventually started his own car company as a result of his racing heritage and designed and made the most magnificent sports cars. His cars were a status symbol all over the world. Ferruccio was not to be excluded from the elite who owned Vincenzo's cars. However, he was not pleased with the car he purchased. He found the clutch inferior for such an expensive car. In fact, he had his own ideas for how he could improve on the design. He decided to pay Vincenzo a visit. Maybe together they could work on developing a new machine. "I have no time for this peasant boy," Vincenzo thought to himself, but reluctantly he agreed to see Ferruccio. "What can I do for you today?" asked Vincenzo as Ferruccio walked through the door. They looked each other over from head to toe, each sizing the other up, deciding if they would be friends or enemies. Ferruccio was the first to look away. "I discovered a problem with one of your cars, but I already have a solution," he said with an air of confidence. The truth was, he already knew what the response would be. He knew they would never get along. "You stick to tractors, and I will build the sports cars," replied Vincenzo, as he stood up, signaling that the meeting had ended. Ferruccio left angry, thinking to himself, "I will show you how to build a real sports car." He worked day and night at developing the perfect car. A few years later, he not only made a sports car, but he introduced the world to what is known today as the first supercar. He decided that the car should bear his family name, Lamborghini. For a long time, it was the fastest car on the world's roads. There was nothing like it. The Lamborghini Miura wowed everybody, even including Enzo Ferrari.